We are coming to you live from Coral Seymour Memorial Field for the final time here in Kenai, Alaska. This is game 5 of 5 between the Matsu Miners and the Peninsula Oilers. The Miners coming into today with the record of 19 and 10, and for the Oilers, 15 and 14. The Oilers are 4 games behind the Miners and are on a 3-game losing streak, as the Miners, of course, are on a 3-game winning streak. Running through the starting lineup for the Miners. Out of Grand Canyon University, leading things off, Kona Quiggle. Southeast Missouri, Danny Wright. Out of UC Davis, Caleb Van Blake. From Oral Roberts University, Spencer Henson. Mississippi State product, Josh Hatcher. He follows Henson. Aaron Walters out of Texas A&M. Out of the University of Nevada, Reno, Tyler Bassetti. And from the University of New Mexico, Breda Merritt. Rounding things out, Drew Swift out of Arizona State. On the mound for the Miners is Asa Lacey, and on the mound for the Oilers, Christian Winston. Coaching staff for the Miners, manager Ben Taylor, pitching coach Jeff Erlab, assistant coach Tyler Braun, general manager Pete Christopher, and assistant GM Bob Plumley, as we are underway here in Kenai. First pitch into Kona Quiggles, a breaking ball that misses high and away for ball one. And for Quiggle coming into today, batting .297, has 33 hits and 111 at bats as Quiggle fouls this one off against Christian Winston. Foul brought to you by Michael and Diana Tice. Winston from San Diego State. So far in the season, he has no wins, 1 loss, an ERA of 2.70. As a 1-1 is on the way, and Quiggle watches that one bounce in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Winston started 4 games for the Oilers, has 20 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts to 8 walks, and has allowed 21 hits. 2-1 into Kona Quiggle is taken as that one bounces away from the catcher Zaleski. 3 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the top of the first inning.
Kona Quiggle definitely glad to see a new day today. Had a rough go of it yesterday, but much like any baseball player has to do some short-term memory loss and take every game as its own.
Winston's 3-1 is on the way, taken high and inside. It almost hit Quiggle, but it's going to be a ball 4. So Kona Quiggle reaches base thanks to a ball 4 from Christian Winston. And now Danny Wright will stand in at the plate. And Wright so far, batting .280 on the season, has 21 hits and 75 at-bats, 4 RBIs, 11 walks, and 12 strikeouts. Wright has really come alive as of late.
Yeah, Danny really has, just playing some great baseball in this series, 5 of 13. So he's really seeing the pitching well of late.
As he lays down a bunt here, fielded by the pitcher Christian Winston, thrown over in time for the out. It's a sacrifice bunt for Danny Wright as Kona Quiggle goes from first to second. Now 1 out here in the top of the first inning with a runner in scoring position for Caleb Van Blake.
And we've seen a lot of sacrifice bunts so far in this series, called by skipper Ben Taylor, playing some small ball to get guys in scoring position.
So Van Blake on the season so far, batting .371. 13 hits and 35 at-bats, 8 RBIs, 8 walks, and 4 strikeouts. As Winston has come set, pitching from the stretch, and he deals. A fastball hits the outside corner for strike 1. Defensive alignment for the Oilers, Bibles in left, Novus in center, Kirk, he's in right field. Grant Wood at third base, Paul Kunst is the shortstop, Bryce Bigel at second base, and Brian Leonhardt at first. The 0-1 from Winston, and that's another hit by pitch, as Caleb Van Blake is not happy about it. Van Blake has now been hit 7 times. Count it, 7 times in only 35 at-bats.
Yeah, and that's twice now this series that he's been hit. You got to wonder if they are just sort of trying to go intentionally to him. I would imagine that they're not doing so, but still a lot of frustration from Caleb Van Blake.
Van Blake, for some reason, has been a ball magnet. As we said, has been hit 7 times so far. And really, he's only just gotten here.
Yeah, he really has. And he's been dealing with some injuries because of getting hit by pitches. But luckily, this time, nothing affected him.
Well, now Spencer Henson at the plate. He takes a called strike. And for Spencer, went 3 for 5 yesterday, bringing his average up to 363, best for a second in the ABL. As the 0-1 from Winston's on the way, a breaking ball goes right over the zone for strike two. So Spencer down to the count, no balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the first inning with runners on first and second base. From the stretch, Winston's ready. Swung on a tapper over to shortstop Kunst. Kunst cannot handle it, and it's going to be an error. A slow roller tried to be hurried up by Paul Kunst to try to get two. He could not. The ball missed his hand, but was able to keep it in front of him. Bases are loaded with 1 out. And from Mississippi State, Josh Hatcher will come to the plate.
Once again, that sort of field messing with Kunst right there. As the rain has came down, they tried to fix that shortstop spot by putting some new dirt on there, but definitely funky hot for him.
Well, the tarp was on the field when we got here, was removed, then it started downpouring again. They put it back on, and as a fastball misses high and inside to Hatcher, 1 ball, no strikes. So they put the tarp on, and then about 30 minutes ago, they just took it off. 1-0 count. Bases are loaded here in the top of the first inning. The pitch from Winston hits the outside corner for strike one. Count goes 1-1. And for Hatcher, batting .318, has 7 hits and 22 at bats, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, and has struck out twice. 2 of those 7 hits are good for extra bases. The 1-1 from Winston is swung on and fouled off as the ball slowly rolls behind the plate and over near the Miners dugout. 1-2 the count now to Josh Hatcher. With the bases loaded here in the top of the first inning, there is no score. Quiggle's on third. Over at second is Van Blake. Henson at first that one freezes Josh Hatcher. Strikeout looking for Hatcher is the second out of the inning. And now the task will be up to Aaron Walters to try and get across a run for the Miners here in the top of the first.
Walters has been on fire since stepping into Kenai in this series, absolutely having some unreal stats. Through 3 games of the series, he's batting 7 of 11 with 5 RBIs. So Walters seeing the ball super well and definitely producing with runners in scoring position.
And with that, his average has risen to 269 on the season for Aaron Walters. Batting .571 over the last week as he's first pitch swing, a slow tapper up the middle. Diving was Paul Kuntz, and he can't get it. Aaron Walters adds another resume and tack on 2 runs. Kona Quiggle comes in to score. Right behind him was Caleb Van Blake. So a slow roller gets the job done for Aaron Walters. 2-run score here in the top of the first inning. It's the Matsu Miners 2, the Oilers yet to bat.
So Aaron Walters just absolutely on a tear of late. 6 RBIs now in the past 4 games and didn't do too much with it right there, but he hit it where no one was. And anytime you do that, you're going to reach base.
Well, Walters just keeps on hitting this series. As Tyler Bassetti now bats in from the right side, he's first pitch swinging. And for Bassetti, batting .213, 19 hits, 89 at bats, 6 RBIs, 13 walks, and 23 strikeouts. Just met his father here at the stadium at Carl Seymour. Was able to make the trek over here to Kenai as the last pitch is in for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Runners on first and second base. Outfield playing straight away. Infield back. Winston from the stretch. He's ready. And the pitch. A breaker that misses inside for ball 1.
Miners have now scored in the first 3 innings 22 times. They did so yesterday and got the win. And their record in the first 21 times they've done so is 17-4. So really a scary team when the Miners get going early.
As the fastball misses inside, and the Miners did score early in that game. They scored in the second inning. But early scoring here as the Miners 2, the Oilers nothing, as they have yet to bat. There are 2 outs, 2-2 count to Tyler Bassetti with runners on first and second. The pitch from Winston's high and away for ball 3. So count runs full. The merry-go-round will be in motion. Bassetti, 7 doubles on the season. Just needs to put the ball in play or take his walk. The 3-2 pitch from Winston is taken for ball 4. Runners were in motion, as it's a good eye from Tyler Bassetti. And now Winston will have a visit from the pitching coach, Ryan Duran. As always, the Matsu Miners internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. If you're here in Alaska, stop by your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts and ask about the Matsu Miners jersey giveaway for your chance to enter and win. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here on the top of the first inning, Braden Merritt is the next batter, as we now lead.
Yeah, the Miners have just been absolutely eating up starting pitching against the Oilers. They get off on hot starts, and Oilers starting pitching has really a hard time bouncing back once they give up these early runs. So another great position to do so with bases loaded, as it seems like some rain is starting to fall down yet again here in Kenai.
Well, let's hope that we can get the majority of the game in, especially since the Miners now have a lead. This game was delayed by 30 minutes before starting as Braden Merritt's ready. First pitch is inside, and it hit him. A hit by pitch after the mound visit by Kristen Winston brings home Spencer Henson, who picks up Merritt's bat and delivers it back to the dugout. The Miners 3, the Oilers yet to come to the plate.
And that has to hurt because it is a chillier day, and it looked like it hit Braden right on the bone of that elbow, so he's really tender to it right now.
So 2 hit by pitches, walks issued in the inning, and 1 strikeout for Christian Winston. As the rain starts to come down a little harder now. This is a game that I know the Oilers really want to get in, as do the Miners. Matsu 3 as Drew Swift takes fastball on the outside corner. Swift on the season, batting .206, has 21 hits in 102 at-bats. 12 RBIs, 6 walks, and 19 strikeouts as he swings at this one, pokes it down the right field line, slicing foul. Bounces off of the rocks over near the Oilers bullpen. So we've batted through the order. Drew Swift is the 9 batter. Kona Quiggle's on deck should Swift continue this inning. Count is at no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. But the Miners leading 3-0 over the Peninsula Oilers. Winston from the set. Now he's ready. Swung on. Ground ball over towards second base. Big L underhand tossed to Paul Kuntz, who is covering second for the 3rd out of the inning. A 4-6 putout will retire the side. So the Miners tack on 3 runs on 1 hit. As it's Matsu 3, the Oilers coming to the plate in the bottom of the 1st inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the bottom of the first inning, and the Matsu Miners have a 3-0 lead. We'll run through the Oilers lineup. Zach Zaleski out of Oregon State leads things off, followed by Brian Leonhardt out of San Diego State. Also, a fellow teammate, Chad Bible, he's a three-hitter. Ryan Cook from Cal State Bakersfield is the cleanup batter. Ryan Novus from St. Mary's University bats fifth. Batting sixth, Grant Wood out of Murray State University. Paul Kunst out of University of San Diego. Following him is the eighth batter, Matthew Kirk out of Morehead State College. And number 9, Bryce Bigel out of University of Arizona. Coaching staff, Kyle Brown is the head coach. Ryan Duran, the pitching coach. And Ronaldo Sanchez is the hitting coach as the first pitch from Asa Lacey misses outside. We saw Ronaldo Sanchez thrown out of the game yesterday. As now Lacey's fastball hits low outside corner for strike one. Asa Lacey out of Texas A&M. The big lefty. He sets and deals low for ball two. Lacey's 2-1 on the season. As this one is fouled off by Zaleski, count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Has a 2.04 ERA, has started 4 games for the Miners, pitched 22 innings exact, 30 strikeouts to only 6 walks. Has another strikeout for Lacey. Zach Zaleski goes down swinging. 31 strikeouts on the season, the first for Asa Lacey here today.
Get your Ks ready because you will see a lot of them with Asa Lacey on the mound. That's his primary way to get guys out is through the strikeout. Really not a huge pitch to hit guy.
So Lacey now deals to Brian Leonhardt, who takes a strike on the outside corner. Leonhardt, 203 on the season, 12 hits, 59 at-bats. 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 14 strikeouts as Lacey deals. Another fastball hits the corner for strike 2. So we weren't sure how the weather would affect Asa Lacey today. So far in the early starts, he's doing pretty well. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the first, the pitch, a curveball misses away for ball 1.
Well, it's definitely a small sample size right now as this is just only a second batter, but he seems to be already in his groove, not really missing widely on any of his pitches.
Taking on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Byron Leonhardt goes down looking. 2 strikeouts for 2 batters as we're here in the bottom of the first inning with the Miners leading 3-0.
And that has to feel great as a pitcher, especially Lacey, already hitting his spots very early in this game, painting the corners and throwing his breaking pitchers wherever he wants.
Well, one thing that really has to help him is his fellow teammate Aaron Walters is behind the plate out of Texas A&M as that fastball hits the zone for strike 1. Defensive lineman Kona Quiggles in left, Braden Merritt in center. Danny Wright is in right. Infield after the pitch. The 0-1 from Lacey swung on. This one's popped up deep into left center field. Braden Merritt ranges back in time to make the out. So we'll come back with the Miners defense when they return to the fields. But right now, the Miners bats will come to the plate. It's the Matsu Miners 3, the Peninsula Oilers nothing. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Well, we just saw him in the tie. We'll see him in the bottom of the second inning as the Miners batted through in the top half. As we're here in the top of the second inning, Kona Quiggle, Danny Wright, Caleb Van Blake all due up. And the Miners, they're first in the ABL in on base percentage, getting on a clip of 341. They're doing a nice job working pitchers, getting on base, and creating havoc on the base paths.
It really has. Only one hit in that first inning, and we had 3 runs.
First pitch from Winston misses high and away to Kona Quiggle, who walked his first time up. Winston did walk 2 in the inning, had 2 hit by pitches, only allowed 1 hit, and that was to Aaron Walters as the second pitch is on the way. Quiggle swings at a high fastball. Count goes even at 1-1. And for Kona, he's leading the Miners bats with 3 triples on the season as fastball from Winston misses high and away. 2-1 the count with nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Also ties the lead in the Miners with home runs with 2. And we're back at a familiar spot against Kona Quiggle. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody out. It's a little bit of deja vu as we saw this in the top of the first inning. Winston the lefty, he's ready, pitches high and away. And just like the first inning, the second inning starts the same. Kona Quiggle walks down with the walk, his second of the day.
Yeah, Kona doing a nice job of that at bat, just waiting to see a pitch go over the zone and didn't bite at any of the breaking pitches away.
You have to wonder if the weather is playing a factor for Christian Winston. It has started to rain a little bit harder than it did at game time when it started. Now, Danny Wright looking to do the same that he did the last time up, misses a bunt. The check down from Zaleski over to Leon Hart is not in time to get Kona Quiggle. So it's going to be no balls and 1 strike.
Danny Wright tried to do more of a drag bunt that time rather than just a sacrifice reason that he went through it.
The 0-1 is taken high this time for ball 1. So the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Runner on first base here in the top of the second inning, with the Miners leading the Oilers 3-0.
And this time, Danny Wright locked down and just tried a regular bunt.
Bunting again is Danny Wright as this one is pushed up the first base line. It's going to have to hurry, and it's going to be in time. So Danny Wright with another sacrifice bunt moves Kona Quiggle from first to second again. And it is. We are experiencing some deja vu. Just like the first inning is happening here in the second inning. A walk and a bunt to put Kona Quiggle at second base and Caleb Van Blake to the plate.
And it might not be the most glorious thing in the world, but Danny Wright embracing the sac bunt role right now. Both of those bunts have been placed beautifully to not give the pitcher a chance at second base.
Well, Winston's pitch misses low and away. And we'll see if Winston tries to go curveball on Van Blake. Last time he did that, he hit him square in the back. But I guess if you're going to be hit by a pitch, a off-speed one would be favorable. The 1-0 on the way is roped down the line and foul over into right field.
Those hit by pitches against Van Blake is just going to give him some added motivation. And if you're the Oilers, you do not want to do that. This guy has been absolutely on a tear throughout the season long, so you don't want to give him an extra chip on his shoulder to do even better.
1-1 from Caleb Van Blake is fouled off right in the box. The ball bounced in the dirt, came up, hit Van Blake. So it's a foul ball. As the count is now 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Van Blake in the early starts has 3 doubles, also has a home run on the season. Winston looking back now at the batter. Van Blake thought about it, held his swing, and the count goes even at 2-2.
Quiggle over at second, thought about maybe heading to third as Zaleski had trouble finding that baseball, but played the safe option and just held off on second. It would have been a close play, however, if he did go down.
Miners now have 102 walks on the season. That's 4th in the ABL as Winston's pitch is roped down the line again into right field. That one a little harder than the first one. As Van Blake stays alive in the box, count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Van Blake just out ahead of that one. Just need to wait it back a little longer on that off-speed pitch.
So Kona Quiggle's on second base. He reached with a walk, was bunted over by Danny Wright as he's on the move. A swing and a foul ball from Van Blake. So the count remains at 2-2. Kona Quiggle was running on the pitch. So it looks like a hit and run was on for the Miners.
Yeah, and Kona had a great jump on that ball too. So even if Van Blake would have missed that swing or held off, it would have been a tough throwdown from Zaleski, which it is a risky move because when there is no right-handed batter, all Zaleski has to do is simply stand up, take a step, and throw down. Doesn't have to back behind any batters.
Well, the Miners are leading the Oilers 3-1 thanks to 3 runs coming in the top of the first inning. We're here in the top of the second inning. And the Miners 3 runs on 1 hit. Has a chance to add on more. The 2-2 on the way to Van Blake. This one is lined and foul. So Caleb Van Blake has been on the last couple pitches. A ground ball foul, a shallow liner foul, and now a big liner foul. Pulling everything from Van Blake. Winston's 2-2 pitch on the way. A breaking ball misses high. Count goes full with a runner on second base.
This is a real nice at-bat from Caleb Van Blake. Really working Winston, who went through all 9 of the Miners in that first inning. So he's really getting his pitch count up in this game.
3-2 the count. Rain is coming down. The pitch to Van Blake is swung on and fouled off, this time to the left side. So Caleb Van Blake staying alive. Three to the count, 1 out. Runner on second base for the Miners here in the top of the second inning. Christian Winston, he's set. Now the pitch. Breaking ball misses high and away. A long flipping bat from Caleb Van Blake. This is a guy who really wants to hit, so he struggles with taking the free base, but you like his passion, and he just continues to get on base.
Yeah, he does a good job of that. Really does a nice. You mentioned does like to hit, but is doing quite well at just being patient, really watching every single pitch. And you can tell from that flip, he's just a little frustrated that he can't swing the bat, that he has to just watch pitches and get on sort of the easy way.
So Spencer Henson now first pitch swinging, fouls it, or actually he hits it high out into center field. The ball is caught by Ryan Novus. Tagging from third is Kona Quiggle, so he makes it. Right behind him was Caleb Van Blake. So Spencer Henson, I thought that ball came behind us. It actually went deep in front of us. A fly ball out to center field for the second out here in the top of the second inning. But the runners do move up as Josh Hatcher has another chance with runners in scoring position. Van Blake on second, Kona Quiggle at third.
And Henson, first pitch swinging like he normally does. He really likes hitting early in counts. Did a nice job of throwing one out into center field. And now the Miners an excellent chance to add to this lead.
First pitch into Hatcher. A fastball misses high for ball 1. Hatcher struck out last inning as he'll look to continue his success, batting .318 on the season. The 1-0 is taken low and away for ball 2.
And you could deliberately see that Hatcher was disappointed in himself looking at the strike 3 in his last at-bat. Watched the breaking ball just simply go over the plate. He'll definitely look to redeem himself in this at-bat.
2-0 the count, 2 outs. Top of the second as fastball runs inside. 3 straight balls from Christian Winston with runners on second and third. And the next man up, I don't know if you want to face him or not. The very hot bat of Aaron Walters. 3-0 the count now to Josh Hatcher. The pitch taken all the way, ball 4. And it looks like Christian Winston will not pitch to Aaron Walters as the head coach for the Peninsula Oilers, Kyle Brown, has already made a motion to their bullpen. So Christian Winston only gets through 1 2/3 here in Kenai as the Matsu Miners have a 3-0 lead. We'll return and let you know who the next pitcher is. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. New man on the mound, Erickson Fish, coming in relief for Christian Winston. The Matsu Miners lead the Oilers by a score of 3-0, but the bases are loaded for Aaron Walters yet again. Erickson Fish from Sitka, Alaska. Went to Hope International where he's a senior. Big righty on the mound. Fish on the season, 1 win, 2 losses, ERA of 5.57, has appeared in 9 games, has not started any of them. As the first pitch, Aaron Walters is taken for a ball. So 1-0 the count with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Has thrown 21 innings, has 11 strikeouts, and 9 walks. Has allowed 31 hits on the season. And there's another one, a rope by Aaron Walters. 1 run is in. Rounding third and heading for home is Caleb Van Blake. Safe at second base will be Josh Hatcher. So for some reason, the relay throw for Matthew Kirk went into second base. 2 runs have scored. It's the Matsu Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers nothing.
Yeah, really shocked why that relay throw from Leonhard didn't go to home plate because Van Blake was about halfway down the line when he received the throw. It would have been a much more closer play and more important because that it was the 5th run. So interesting move there.
Well, Aaron Walters just continues to hit as the first pitch is for a strike to Tyler Bassetti. Walters now has 4 RBIs on the day, and we're only through 1 2/3 of this game. The 0-1 is taken high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runners on first and second base. The Miners lead the Peninsula Oilers 5-0. 1-1 the count to Tyler Bassetti, who walked his first time up, who takes a strike here on the outside corner. 1-2 the count with 2 outs.
And the Miners, it just seems to be a trend. Every time they face the Oilers, they do a great job of getting on the pitchers early, finding out these starting pitchers and early relievers, and just roping hit after hit.
The 1-2 from Fish is swung on, line drive right towards shortstop, who goes to third base in time for the third out. So a rare 6-5 put out for Tyler Bassetti, as that's all that's doing here in the top of the second inning. It's the Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers nothing, as we head towards the bottom of the second. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We're here on the bottom of the second inning. Matsu Miners leading the Peninsula Oilers by a score of 5-0, as Miners hold a 4-game lead on them in the ABL. Take a look at the standings. It's the Miners at the top, 19-10. Oilers follow behind at 15-14, 4 games back. The Anchorage Bucks, 13-15, 5.5 back. As Lace is ready, as first pitch swinging is Ryan Cook. The Chinooks, they're 12-15 on the season, 6.5 back, and the Pilots 10-14, also at 6.5. Second pitch into Ryan Cook, hits the strike zone, lower outside. Count is quickly ahead for Asa Lacey. No balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Lacey off the mound, he's ready, swung on, and just foul tipped. So Ryan Cook stays alive. He has 17 strikeouts on the year, batting .247. But has been one of the better hitters in the Oilers lineup. Has 6 doubles and 5 home runs, best for the lead in the ABL. The pitch from Lacey bounces and gets away from Walters, and that's the first ball.
Yeah, that one took an awkward hop for Walters, who couldn't quite corral it. Okay, for him, it was a ball, so there was no play at first.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count, nobody out. 1-2 swung on. This one's flared out into right field, coming on and will not be able to make the play is Danny Wright. It was a flare single out into right field off the bat of Ryan Cook. That's the first hit for the Peninsula Oilers here in the bottom of the second inning.
And Cook, in more ways than one, has really been carrying the offense for the Oilers, and shows it right there. Was jammed up a little bit, but still had the strength to throw out a hit in the right field.
The leadoff man gets on base for the Oilers here, as Ryan Novus stands in from the right side. Novus, 26 hits, 102 at bats, batting .255. Has 11 RBIs. His first pitch is swung on and missed from Asa Lacey. Novus also has 7 walks and has struck out 14 times. 0-1 the count, nobody out. Runner on first base. Long hold from Lacey. He deals a ground ball up the middle. Drew Swift will not be able to get it. It's back-to-back hits for the Oilers here in the bottom of the second inning. And so with those two hits, they tie the Miners, but what's not tied is a score. They have a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, the Miners are scoring runs based off the pitching troubles for the Oilers, where the Oilers are getting on base simply due to just out hitting Asa Lacer right now, seeing where his pitches are taken and not trying to do too much with it. A lot of simple swings going on from the Oilers, and that's what really you have to do against Lacey. You can't do the home run swing, or else you'll either A, strike out, or most likely fly out.
Well, we told you we'd come back with the defensive alignment, and we will. Tyler Bassetti at third, Drew Swift at short, Caleb Van Blake's at second, and Josh Hatcher at first base. A bunt is attempted, but pulled back by Grant Wood. The ball bounces in the dirt, and the runners move 90 feet away. The runners on second and third base for the Oilers, as Grant Wood will bat in with two runners in scoring position. Want to know the count?
Walters kind of had two negative things going his way there. One, that Wood pulled the bunt out in front of him, so that kind of messes with your eye level. And two, the dirt is a little wet, so it's had some weird hops. So two things that really weren't in his advantage and makes a ball tough to block.
Now the pitching coach, Jeff Erlab, will have a mound visit. Talk to Asa Lacey, deciding how they want to pitch to Grant Wood. And Wood has fallen victim to the strikeouts 23 times. Has also walked 12 times, 10 RBIs, only batting .228 on the season. So we're here in the bottom of the second inning. Miners leading the Oilers 5-0. 1-0 count into Grant Wood. As now Jeff Verlab has said his piece, and we're ready to continue.
Yeah, just asking Lacey, well, how are they hitting you? What are you throwing them? And then trying to give him maybe a new game plan to start striking out Oilers hitters, which Asa Lacey is normally more dominant of.
Already has two strikeouts today. They came in the bottom of the first inning. Lacey comes set and deals a fastball outside for ball two. Umpiring crew today, Mark Anthony Edwards. He's at third. Scott Johnston behind the plate. And Scott Nolan is the first base umpire, who's positioned near second base right now. Swung on. This one's hit out into right center field for a base hit and maybe more. One run is in. Another one is coming around. Grant Wood circling second base. He will hold with a 2 RBI double. There's nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. The Peninsula Oilers have gotten 2 across on Asa Lacey.
Yeah, what a hit there from Grant Wood to start the momentum for the Oilers as they're down early, but they don't want to end this series on a loss. They can't win or tie it, but it's always a pride thing to try to end on a win.
So Asa Lacey, who looked pretty dominant in the first inning, has fallen victim to a flare single, a little ground ball single, and now a line drive 2 RBI double off the bat of Grant Wood. Cook and Novas have come in to score. And now with Paul Kunst at the plate, batting in from the right side, he will have a runner in scoring position in Grant Wood. The first pitch is going to be a bunt that was clearly missed by Kunst. Ball just kind of went foul tipped right under his bat.
Yeah, just didn't quite have level on it. And it will go back into the mid of Walters.
So no balls and one strike. Asa Lacey trying to fix the mound to his liking, as rain is still coming down here at Coral Seymour Memorial Field in Kenai, Alaska. The 1-0 misses high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Paul Kunst batting .213 on the season, has 20 hits and 94 at bats, 5 RBIs, 9 walks, and has struck out 11 times. Oilers bats are trying to climb from the basement, as they are last in batting average at .204. The pitch from Lacey is a bunt right down the third base line. Charging in is Tyler Bassetti. A high throw to Josh Hatcher, and it's going to be in time for the first outs. So a sacrifice bunt will be credited to Paul Kunst as Grant Wood goes from second to third. And it was a close play by Tyler Bassetti, but he's got a great arm at third. and just got Paul Kuntz by a step.
Yeah, he really did. Nice bare hand attempt. Very interesting that he went with that because the ball had to have been pretty wet from the rain coming down in this game. But Bozetti has a real strong arm over at third and displayed it right there.
Now Matthew Kirk, the left-handed batter. It'll be a lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch in, fastball outside corner for a called strike. We can hear the rain tapping down a little bit louder as it seemed to pick up. No balls, one strike, one out. Here in the bottom of the second, 2 runs are in against Asa Lacey with a runner 90 feet away from scoring. Last pitch was taken for a ball, so 2 balls and 1 strike now. Pitch into Kirk is taken on the outside corner for a ball. So the count, the way the scoreboard reads, 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out with a runner on third base for the Peninsula Oilers, who have scratched across 2 runs here. The 2-1 on the way, ground ball over to Drew Swift at short. He goes all the way to first to make the outs. So a ground out RBI for Matthew Kirk. All 3 runners who have reached base have come around to score here in the bottom of the second, cut the lead down to 2. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 3.
That's kind of been the go-to for the Miners all season long, is giving up the runs for and out as trusting in their pitching. And also with doing that, that empties the bases so Asa Lacey can work out of the wind where he is obviously most dominant.
First pitch into Bryce Bigel is taken for a called strike. You have to wonder if the long wait in between innings affected the way that Lacey's pitching.
Well, Lacey did have to wait once the Miners scored 12 runs in 1 inning, so I'm sure he is used to it by now.
Check swing by Bryce Bigel. He did not go, according to the first base umpire, Scott Nolan. So it's going to be a ball and a strike with 2 outs and the bases clear here in the bottom of the second. Pitching from the windup, Asa Lacey's ready. It's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Cook came around to score. Ryan Nova scored, and Grant Wood, the first 3 batters here in the bottom of the second. But Lacey has retired the last 2 and will look to do so here against Bryce Bigel. The 1-2 pitch from Lacey is a curveball that misses just low. Interesting to see the entire Miners on the field all took 1 step as it looked like a good breaker, but the 2-2 count is on the way. A fastball misses away. Count runs full with 2 outs.
Yeah, they all simultaneously took a step towards the dugout, and they're almost used to it by now. When Asa Lacey gets 2 strikes on a batter, he's normally punching them out.
3-2 the count. Bryce Bigel calls for time, fixes his batting gloves. Miguel only batting 192 on the season, has 19 strikeouts. The 3-2 is swung on and popped up behind the press box. So Miguel stays alive. Miguel also has 2 doubles on the season and has nabbed 2 stolen bases. The 3-2 from Lacey is in the dirt for ball 4. The first walk for Asa Lacey on the evening, as that put a runner on with 2 outs.
You got to wonder if with this rain really coming down, if it's affecting the way Lacey grips the ball. And he seems, after most pitches and batters, sort of stomping around trying to get the dirt out of his cleats. So you got to wonder how much that's affecting him as well with finishing pitches.
It's the top of the order for the Peninsula Oilers, as Zach Zaleski will talk to the third base coach, Kyle Brown, trying to get a read on Asa Lacey, who last time when he faced the Oilers struck out 11. Then he went on to face the Chinooks, struck out 10. As he only has 2 here today, but we're only in the bottom of the second inning. Lacey from the stretch, he pitches outside corner for strike 1.
Nice fastball there from Asa Lacey to hit the outside part of the zone. He knows how to strike out Zaleski now, so going to be interesting to see what his combination of pitches is.
0-1 the count into Zach Zaleski, who struck out the first time up. On the move is Bryce Miguel. Walters will not throw. It'll be a stolen base for Bryce Miguel. And now a runner is in scoring position against Ace Lacey and the Miners.
And nice job of timing it up there from Big L, as Lacey sort of has that slower leg kick motion from the stretch. So if you can get a good jump on it, it's a little easier to get off. But you have to be careful as a runner over there on first, because Lacey can whip it back to first very easily.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on second base here in the bottom of the second inning. Lacey pitching from the stretch, and he deals. Swung on, and this one is fouled right down into the dirt on the left side of the batter's box. It'll be hard to try to keep the balls clean today, as rain making the infield dirt a lot muddier.
Yeah, it really is. It really affects the play in so many different areas as they've been working on the field really since we got here after taking the tarp off.
1-2 for Mesa Lacey's a breaking ball that misses. We'll say low. So 2-2 the count into Zach Zaleski. Macy was ahead of Bryce Miguel, but Miguel was able to stay in there and draw a walk. Zaleski looking to do the same. The 2-2 is a fastball that misses. We'll call it low again. It might have hit the outside corner, but it's not our job to call balls and strikes. That's the official position of Scott Johnston, the home plate umpire. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch from Lacey swung on, and this one is popped over into left field. Ranging over towards the line is Kona Quiggle, who makes the one-hand grab, and the sides are tired. So the Peninsula Oilers get 3 across against Lacey here in the bottom of the second. 3 runs on 3 hits. As Miners bats will be coming to the plate in the top of the third. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. It's the top of the third inning. The Matsu Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers 3. In the bottom of the second, Ace Lacey gave up 3 runs, 2 singles, and a 2 RBI double. And then an RBI ground out to score all the 3 runs. Standing in is Braden Merritt. Merritt was hit by pitches last time up, so he's still batting .250. Erickson Fish remains on the mound, who came in relief for Christian Winston. As his fastball rides high and away, count 1 ball, no strikes, and nobody out here in the top of the third inning. Second pitch from Fish is fouled off and towards the left side, out of play. So for the Miners, they scored all 5 runs. As Brady Merritt grounds this one, a slow roller over to second base. Bryce Miguel has enough time to record the out. Brady Merritt out with the 4-3 putout. What were we going to say? The 5 runs scored by the Miners off those 2 hits, two RBI singles off the bat of Aaron Walters, and then a hit by pitch to bring in another run. First ball into Drew Swift misses for ball 1, and Swift grounded out to second base his first time up. As a swing and a miss from Swift here, count goes even at 1-1.
You mentioned the early scoring. That's now, well, rather, the Miners are doing this yet a lot, and they've scored very efficiently so far. In the past 3 games, they've scored in at least 4 of the 9 innings.
This one is hit down the line in left field. That will get down for a base hit and maybe more. Drew Swift rounding first. He's heading for second. The ball is still in left field, and Swift will come into second base with a stand-up double. It's Swift. 1 out. He's on second. That's his 6th double on the season.
Yeah, Swift definitely was all over that pitcher. We've been waiting to see a little bit of pop come out of the bat of Swift, but when it gets out there, you have to be dangerous of him because he is very fast, can easily stretch a single into a double, or maybe even a double into a triple right there. Just a nice, easy stand-up double, though.
Swift has come around and scored 17 times on the season. As now it's the top of the lineup with Kona Quiggle. Quiggle waiting for a plate appearance as he's walked twice, swinging at first pitch. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out and a runner on second base here in the top of the 3rd. And the Miners are leading the Oilers by a score of 5-3. The pitch from Fish, taken outside, low and away for ball 1. And for Kona, extra base king has filled up his scorecard. 5 doubles, 3 triples, and 2 home runs on the season. As he's still batting .297. Swift dancing around at second, trying to get the attention of Fish, but it didn't work as the fastball's right down the middle. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Here in the top of the 3rd.
Swift is definitely not scared to steal third. He's done it multiple times this season.
Kona Quiggle, little wiggle of the bat. Swinging now, fouls it off. And off to the left side, out of play. Rain is starting to come down a little bit more. Fans are sparse in attendance with that, but attendance has been good here at Coral Seymour Fields. Game 1, 4th of July. Many fans coming out to see the Oilers win. They won 8-3. 1-2 the count to Kona Quiggle. Swung on, and this one is popped up foul territory. Coming in and trying to catch it was the third baseman, Grant Wood, who was unable to do so. Right behind him was the catcher, Zach Zaleski. And as we look over, we see I'd say one of our favorite pitchers, Ian Churchill, is working the radar gun and is sitting behind home plate. I'll be sure to see Ian as we reach into the showcase season and the All-Star game, as that is coming up soon, next Sunday. So we're officially 1 week away.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I have a favorite particular player or pitcher, but I really like all the guys on the team, but it is cool to see their personalities really come out.
As Quiggle swings through this one, strike 3. Well, Ian's a very personable guy, and so are most of the Miners. But we'll say all the Miners. It's been great getting to know the guys over the course of these past 5 days as the team was staying in the bingo hall.
Well, yeah, it's been fun getting to know them all summer long. They've been really approachable, very nice to everyone in the community. It's really great to see them all come together, and especially winning now, because anytime you win, it really overlooks some problems maybe that you have with guys, because when you start winning, it makes everything a lot better.
As Drew Swift takes the base, it's a called strike against Danny Wright. So Swift now with his 12th stolen base on the season.
Now becomes alone at the top in the ABL in stolen bases.
You can always count on Swift with a stolen base when he's on the base passes. Danny Wright swings at this one as low Tropper over to third, and a good play by Grant Wood to get Danny Wright. So Danny Wright retired on a 5-3 putout. The Miners do not score here in the top of the third. It's the Matsu Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers 3 as we're headed into the home half of the third inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We are here in the bottom of the third inning, where the Matsu Miners lead the Peninsula Oilers by a score of 5-3. Asa Lacey remains on the mound as he was roughed up just a bit in his last outing, or his last mound visit.
Yeah, he just gave up a few too many hits there, sort of lost a bit of command, but did a nice job of bringing it back. Only gave up 3 hits. He did have the 5-run lead to work with, so we'll just need to buckle down with this 2-run cushion.
First pitch swing is Brian Leonhardt as he fouls it off and towards the left side, ranging under it is Tyler Bassetti, who makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Asa Lacey.
Yeah, and talk about efficiency. That's going to help out his confidence a lot right there, considering he gave up a leadoff hit to begin last inning, and that really started a domino effect for the Oilers to start scoring. Now with the out, he can get back into his groove and his rhythm.
Chad Bible now stands in from the right side. He flew out to center field his first time up. As the first pitch misses for ball 1. Lacey pitching from the windup. He's ready. The pitch misses inside for ball 2. For the Oilers, they are tied for third in the ABL in RBIs at 91. As this one's grounded over to third, making a sliding grab is Tyler Bassetti, who is showing off for his father, who's in attendance for the outs. A nice 5-3 putouts for the third baseman, Tyler Bassetti.
Yeah, that's really 2 nice plays that Tyler Bassetti's played in the hot corner today, coming in to make that play on the sacrifice bunt, and then they're kind of sliding into that one, but then has the strong enough arm to get Bible well in time.
It's always nice when family members can come down or come up to Alaska. Coming down from Palmer all the way to Kenai as first pitch into Ryan Cook, who's low and away for ball 1. Cook, he led off the single brigade in the bottom of the second as the rain starts to come in a little harder now. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. Lacey from the windup. This one is popped up out into center field, ranging into right center a bit is Braden Merritt, who makes the catch, and the sides are tired. So a 1-2-3 inning for Asa Lacey as the Miners maintain their 5-3 lead over the Peninsula Oilers. And for the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning, 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, we'll throw it over to Brad Walker.
Welcome back into Coral Seymour Memorial Park here in Kenai, Alaska, where the Miners are ahead of the Oilers 5-3 in this fifth game of the five-game series. And we have a new pitcher for the Oilers and right-handed thrower Matt Amrine out of Cal Baptist University, new pickup for the Oilers. And the Miners saw him back on July 6th in his second appearance. This is just his third of the season. Through two appearances, has gathered up a 2.07 ERA with 4 1/8 pitched, has walked one and given up 2 hits. So he'll face Van Blake, Henson, and Hatcher for the Miners, the heart of this Matsu Miners order, who've scored 5 runs but have only done it on 3 hits. So it's really been problems with the Oilers pitching on the reason why the Miners are getting in runs, as Van Blake pops one high in the air over into right field. Moving back is Matthew Kirk at the warning track, and he'll make the catch just before that one can get over the wall for out number one.
That was a long fly ball off the bat of Caleb Van Blake. Kirk doing a nice job to track it down, especially with the weather.
X going to bring up Spencer Henson, the cleanup man, 0 for 1 tonight. Reached back in the first inning in his first at-bat on an error, ending up coming around to score the third run of the ball game. So Henson, who really had a breakout game yesterday after sort of struggling all series, as Amrine's pitch comes into Henson and misses low for a ball. Amrine sort of goes with that lower sidearm technique, so he winds and delivers that sidearm sling. He'll miss once again, this time outside, 2-0. So Henson, who came in to the series yesterday sort of struggling, now 5 of 18 with 4 RBIs, as he bounces this one foul over to the left side. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, top of the fourth inning. Miners lead the Oilers 5-3. Henson's been doing quite well against the Oilers, has 11 ribbies. So 11 out of his 18 have been against the Oilers, which was good for fourth coming into tonight in the ABL. The 2-1's on its way, dribbled just along that third base line, but will roll foul before the third baseman Grant Wood can get to it. Henson a little shaken up on that one as he takes a few steps outside the batter's box. But after adjusting his batting gloves, looks like he's ready to get going again. So the Miners have scored in the first 2 out of 3 innings. They scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Did not score in the third, after Drew Swift did get a 1-out double, but he was left stranded. So Grant Wood looking to send down Spencer Henson. His 2-2 pitch swung on, just barely got a tip of it with Spencer Henson, so he'll stay alive in the count, 2-2. As Spencer Henson also coming into tonight's second in batting average at 363, so that will go down a tad just because of reaching on the error back in the first inning, but had that sac fly back in the second. So Wood, his 2-2 pitch is on its way. A breaker that had Henson well out in front of it for strike number 3. So that's Wood's first strikeout tonight. Only the second time the Miners have been set down on strikes. And that's going to bring up Josh Hatcher, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Hatcher, who coming into tonight has had RBIs in 3 straight games. Not have an opportunity to do so unless he goes yard. So Wood winds and deals. Hatcher will look at a strike on the outer part of the plate. Mentioned Amrine has only seen 2 appearances in the ABL so far. July 1st against the Bucks, where he went 2 2/3, was the winning pitcher after not giving up any earned runs as Hatcher dribbles out one foul, and then against the Miners, going 1 2/3 on July 6th, where he gave up by 1 run, which was earned off 2 hits. So Amrine, the right-hander out of Upland, California, just finished up his sophomore season at Cal Baptist. He's ahead in the count, 0-2 on Josh Hatcher with 2 outs. His pitch, a high bender that drops well outside of the zone. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Miners leading the Oilers 5-3 rather. So Woods 1-2. Gets Hatcher swinging, but Dulesky mishandles it, and it'll roll towards the backstop, but he'll throw down in time to get Josh Hatcher for the second strikeout of the inning, but third out of the inning. So the Miners are set down 1-2-3 to begin the 4th inning. We'll have the bottom half of the 4th inning with the Miners on top 5-3 on Matsu Miners Radio. Welcome back into the home half of the 4th inning, where the Miners lead the home team, Peninsula Oilers, 5-3 through 3.5 innings. Asa Lacey on for his 4th inning of work. And Asa Lacey has been perfect in 2 out of the 3 innings so far. But in that second inning, 3 runs on 3 hits. But he did bring it back, shutting down the Oilers in the last inning. So he'll face Novus, Wood, and Kunst. And the bottom half of this order really got to Asa Lacey, was the part of the order that got those runs.
Yeah, everything really started with Ryan Cook with the single. Now Ryan Novus will start off, and Novus with the single last time up is going to be something dangerous to watch for Lacey.
So Lacey's first pitch into Ryan Novus is skied in the air to the right side, near that right field line. 3 Miners were over there, a little nervous there. I'm sure skipper Ben Taylor got, because all 3 of them started looking at each other, but at the last minute, Caleb Van Blake calls everyone off and makes the catch for out number 1.
Well, Van Blake, a true veteran out there, one of the older members on the Matsu Miners staff, and just calling everybody off.
Yeah, and someone just has to make that final decision to make the catch, and good thing Van Blake was willing to step up. So with 1 down, Grant Wood steps in. He looks at a fastball that's low for a strike. 0-1. Grant Wood is 1-for-1 tonight. Had an RBI double back in the 2nd inning, where 2 runs came across for the Oilers. So Lacey delivers another strike. Now is ahead in the count, 0-2 with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Miners leading the Oilers 5-3. So Lacey winds and deals. His 0-2 misses low and in the dirt. Move the count to 1-2. With 1 out, as Walters had a nice block, so in case Wood would have swung. Wood on the season has struck out 23 times, and now has had a hit in his past 4 out of 5 games played. So Lacey's 1-2 is on its way. Wood swinging, but pops it foul and out of play to the right side. Wood came into tonight, well, now on the series has gone 3 of 12, has 3 RBIs through 5 games against the Miners. But Lacey trying to set him down here. His pitch is towered into center field. Moving in to make the catch is Braden Merritt. It was kind of cool there when Merritt made the catch. His glove a little wet. When he caught it, some water splashed off of it. So just a nice little effect right there. So 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. The Oilers trailing the Miners 5-3. Paul Kunst will step in, who had a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning. And Tyler Bozetti made the nice play at third to get Kunst. It was really a bang-bang play. But the right-hander Kunst was called out as he looks the ball high from Asa Lacey. Set down the Oilers in 3 out of 4 innings and for the 2nd straight inning. His 1-0 misses well inside. Kunst thought it hit him, but Scott Johnson thought otherwise. Just calls it a ball. So 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Asa Lacey settling into a groove in this 4th inning. His 2-0s delivered. Kunst now swings throughs for the first strike of the at-bat. The Miners currently lead this series 5-3. And after of this 5-game stint, they have brought it back with 3 victories in a row. Last night was a tight one as go-ahead RBI single. And the Paul Kunst skies one in the air over to the right side foul territory, but taking off the mask and then making the glove catch is Aaron Walters for out number 3. So Asa Lacey in back-to-back innings in 3 out of 4 innings sets down the Oilers in order, and the Miners still have the 5-3 advantage over the Peninsula Oilers. We'll bring it back with the 6th inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Miners 5, Oilers 3 as we enter this 5th inning of action here in Kenai. And the Miners will have Walters, Bozetti, and Merritt due up. They'll still face Matt Amrine, who came on in the 4th inning and shut down the Miners in order in his 1st inning of relief. So Amrine kind of does come in at that weird delivery that's kind of a sidearm sling. Connor, how do you think that affects the Miners hitters, or what does it do to their approach at the plate?
Well, I think it definitely, changes their view of where the ball is being released at. The ball instead of coming up over the head or over the ear, even 3/4 of the way, and now it's coming down sidearm. So you have to adjust to the ball that's now coming down almost at a hip level from Emerine instead of coming up by the head.
And we do have a little bit of a break as they're occurring the field a little more because of the rain. So, Connor, how do you think this Matsu Miners team has really meshed since this Kenai road trip, staying in the bingo hall together? They were doing a great job with team chemistry coming into that, but how much more do you think it's improved because of this trip?
Well, I think it's great, and especially for the guys, from Mississippi State, Denver McQuarrie, and Josh Hatcher. They just got here last Saturday. They had a couple days back in Palmer, and then on Wednesday we came down here to the bingo hall in Kenai. So it's been great to see all the guys, how they mesh, how they have come together, and really they're starting to bond as a team.
And you really don't have a choice to but bond because everything is really done together. Team meals, team workouts, because they all go to the rec center together. They all have team meals at certain times. Then obviously they live together. So you're going to see the same guys every day, where else normally they just go to their host families for meals or just leisure time. Nevertheless, we're finally ready to get back from the break. And Aaron Walters will step in from the left side of the dish and someone get a fire extinguisher because this man is on fire. Today he's 2 for 2. And now in the series, he is 9 of 13 with 7 RBIs. 4 of them have come today in both of his at-bats with two RBI singles, I should say. So the 5th inning is finally underway as the sidearm pitch from Amrine misses low to Walters 1-0. So Walters now extends his 4-game hit streak to 5 and now has 9 RBIs in the past 4 games as he takes a big hack at this one and misses. So the count moves to 1-1. To the leadoff man Walters here in the top of the 5th inning. The Miners lead the Oilers 5-3. So Amrine from the wind, his pitch. Swung and missed by Walters. Walters well ahead of that one as well. So he falls behind in the count 1-2. Walters only with 15 strikeouts on the season, so has been very protective with 2 strikes. And then 1-2 fastball misses low for ball 2. So we're all tied up at 2. The Miners trying to win 7 out of their last 8 games as they came in winning 6 out of the last 7. And the Oilers have lost 6 out of their past 7 games at home. So they're trying to sort of end that losing ways right now as Amrine almost loses grip of it with that breaking pitch. Zaleski out of the crouch and almost had to jog over to catch that one. And Aaron Walters, after falling behind 0-2, has now worked the count full.
And that's the one struggle coming down from that low arm angle, trying to get over the breaking.
A full count pitch barely hits the inside corner. Aaron Walters didn't think so, but Scott Johnston will ring him up for out number 1 of the 5th inning. And for the first time tonight, Aaron Walters has been retired.
You know, Walters a couple days ago went 3 for 4. Yesterday, 2 for 4. Today, 2 for 3. He's just been one of those guys that have caught fire down in Kenai.
And it's really, I think, a whole just sort of relaxing thing. And maybe being around the guys really 24/7 has helped Walters do that and just kind of play more loose and really have fun with it. As Tyler Bozetti steps in, looks at a strike inside. So he's down on the count 0-1. With 1 out, Bozetti tonight is 0 for 1. Rounded into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning and reached on a walk in the 1st. He takes another strike, so he's fallen behind 0-2 with 1 out. Amrine on the season now with 6 strikeouts. So he kicks and deals the 0-2. This one is ripped down the left field line. Moving over and cutting it off nicely is Bible as he throws in to the cutoff man, Paul Kunst. And Tyler Bozetti is on with a 1-out single. Really nice hit as Bozetti, that pitch was inside. He dug it out from that inside lower corner and then golfed it over into left field. So with 1 out, that brings up Braden Merritt, a left-handed hitting center fielder. Merritt is 0 for 1 tonight, got hit by a pitch in the 1st inning and was really tending to that right elbow for a while. Seems to be doing okay now. So Wood's first pitch into Merritt, misses low and bounced. Zaleski has no clue where it is. Now he has to sprint to the backstop. But while doing all of that, Bozetti races all the way over to 3rd. So Bozetti will advance to 1st to 3rd on a passed ball.
And you know what I love there? Merritt, fully aware of the situation. He goes and looks at Bozetti and points him, go, go, go. Not just take second base, go around second and take all the way to 3rd. Great job by Merritt letting Bozetti know what the situation was.
And that's baseball IQ right there. As the batter, you really are in charge of telling your batters what to do on a pass ball because you have the best view out of it between the coaches and the runners. So wonderful job, as Connor just explained, by Braden Merritt, telling Bozetti to go all the way to 3rd. And now the Miners have another run just 90 feet away with only 1 out in the top of the 5th inning and a 5-3 lead. So 1-0 is the count as Amrine comes set from the stretch. The Oilers infield is in. His pitch, Braden Merritt ropes one down the right field line, but foul. So a loud foul ball there from Braden Merritt as the Ducks jump out of their seats, hanging over the fence right there.
And lost in all the noise is the electric factory, the Miners bullpen. I think I heard them barking before Bozetti was able to take 3rd.
That's probably something they would do. Count is tied at 1. Amrine comes set. His pitch swung on by Merritt. A little bloop that won't get over Grant Wood. It almost did, as he sort of had to take 2 back steps to grab it. So for the second out of the inning, Braden Merritt with the F5, and Drew Swift will step to the dish, who had a double in his last at bat. Sixth double of the season, 22nd hit. Also the eighth hit against the Oilers. So Swift, the right-handed batter, will face the right-handed Amrine. And now the Oilers infield will move back to their regular spots. Outfield playing straight away. Center fielder Novus has shifted over just a touch to the right side. So 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. The Miners lead 5-3. Amrine's first pitch to Wood is a strike. So Swifty is 1 for 3, or rather 1 for 2 today. Rounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning. Amrine's 0-1, a slow breaker, moves the count to 1-1.
Man, it looks like
two
a
outs.
slow slider coming out of the hand of Matt Amrine. That's at least the motion that the ball is taken.
And you really don't have to bring a lot of speed coming from that sidearm awkward angle as long as you have a lot of break in your pitch, which Amrine does. As his 1-1 is a hard ground ball over to first base. Leonhardt scoops it and taps the first base bag for out number 3. So the Miners definitely look threatening after Tyler Bozetti made it all the way over to third with only 1 out. But unfortunately, he'll just watch the third out be tagged, and we'll still have a 5-3 ball game. Miners on top. We head into the home half of the 5th inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Bottom of the 5th inning, Miners hold a 5-3 advantage over the Oilers. And the Miners trying to win this 5-game series 4-1 and improve the season series 5-3. And not surprising that this game's close, because 4 out of the 7 games in this series have been decided by 2 runs or less. As Asa Lacey, the tall left-hander from Texas A&M, is on for his 5th inning of work. Lacey, other than the second inning, has been pretty much flawless, has not given up a hit or a base runner in the first, third, or 4th innings. But the second inning, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. 2 runs. But luckily, heading into that inning, he had the 5-run lead to work with.
No, it's been great to watch Lacey work and bounce back from that almost troubling second inning, but he was able to come back, and that's what matters.
So he'll face Matthew Kirk, left-handed hitting right fielder out of Moorhead State. First pitch fastball from Lacey hits the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Kirk had an RBI ground out back in the second inning, where the Miners elected to have the out for the run. So the 0-1 pitch is another fastball. This misses outside. Count will go to tied up at 1. And really, it's been a tough Miners pitching staff to hit, with an ERA of 2.67 and opponents only hitting an even 200 against them. So it's really hard to figure out this Miners pitching staff, as they're really ahead of most categories. Whereas hitters are hitting 247 off the Oilers pitching crew. So Kirk flies one foul and out of play on the left side. Now Asa Lacey will work ahead in the count, 1-2. So he has 2 pitches to waste if he chooses so. As he stands tall from the wind, his 1-2 pitch is on the way. Misses low and inside around the ankles for ball 2. So 2-2 is your count to the leadoff man, Matthew Kirk, who is now only 1 of 9 in this 5-game series. His only hit was the 3-run home run back in game 1, as this one is chopped over to second base. Moving back is Van Blake, and then the sort of sidearm toss to first for out number one of the bottom of the fifth inning. As it brings up Bryce Bigell, the right-handed hitting second baseman. Bigell walked back in the second inning, in that long second inning, where the Oilers brought to the plate 7 batters. And Bigell only has one hit against the Miners, and actually has a hit in past 5 out of his 6 games played. So not an everyday guy as he lines this one straight back. If it wasn't for that fence, that one would have went right in between my eyeballs. So the count goes to 0-1.
I think he could catch that one.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. So Bigell really not an everyday guy, but in the past 6 games he's played, he's had a hit in 5 of them. So the 0-1 from Lacey, a big breaker that misses high and away. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Miguel also gets on base at a nice clip of 311 coming into tonight. Now 10 walks on the season thanks to the base on balls in the second as he looks at a fastball in the dirt, 2-1. 1 down, bottom of the 5th inning. Miners leading 5-3. Miners trying to head back all the way back to Palmer on a winning note. As the 2-1 from Lacey is dribbled right back to him. He can't get to it. Running in to make the bare hand play is Caleb Van Blake, and his throw is just off the mark. So Bryce Bigell will reach on what we would imagine be scored as an infield single, as that was a very tough play to make for Caleb Van Blake.
And the scoreboard does say infield single. They got the hit up there. Van Blake did all he could, charging in hard. It was a slow roller, but not much he could do.
And really great effort from Van Blake. And if the throw would have been on the mark, it probably would have been an out. But also great backup there from the catcher, Aaron Walters. It's tough to sprint down that 90 feet to the first base bag to back it up, but Walters willing to do so and maybe saved an extra base that Big L may have gotten. Nevertheless, there's a man on first for the Oilers with 1 out. Tying run at the plate in Zach Zaleski, the left-handed hitting catcher that looks at a ball outside 1-0. If you remember in the top half of this inning, almost a costly play from Zaleski where he couldn't quite find the ball back as it went back to the backstop, and Bozetti, instead of just taking second on the pass ball, got all the way to third. Luckily, Amrine worked his way out of it, and the Miners didn't come up with any runs as they still hold a 5-3 lead. So Lacey from the chest, his 1-0 pitch. Rather, he'll throw back to first, had us fold in the box, but sliding back in time was Bryce Bigell.
Did not have Bryce Bigell fooled.
No, not at all. Normally when you see runners on first, especially against Lacey, sort of when that leg goes up, their first move is to lean back to first just in case they throw over. Bigell's stolen 2 bags on the year, so definitely a threat. Lacey this time sort of a quick leg kick, and this is lined into right field. Grabbing it is Danny Wright, and his throw into second, not in time, as Bigell was frozen up a little bit, but slides in safely. So the Oilers have gotten back-to-back base hits and have runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They trail 5-3, but Ryan Lanhart, the left-handed hitting first baseman, looks to change it right now.
Well, this is almost a repeat of the second inning. They had lead-off back-to-back singles. There's 1 out here, but they had back-to-back singles, and then the next guy followed with a double. We'll see how Lacey kind of reacts to this and how he responds.
The Lanehart does have 2 RBIs against the Miners this season, both of them coming in this 5-game series. As Lacey delivers the first pitch fastball on the outside zone for strike 1. So Lacey really has that fastball in command when he decides to go to it on a first pitch. So he'll work from the stretch for the second time in this game as he turns around to twist to look the runner back. But Bigell slides back safely. There's no middle infielders in for the Miners. So 0-1 is your count with 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th. The Oilers have the tying run on first as they trail 5-3. Lacey, big leg kick and big Brender that misses low. So the count will be tied up at 1. Lanehart tonight's 0-2, struck out in the first inning and flew out in the third. And 3 of the past 6 games that he's played in has had a multi-hit performance. As Lacey misses low, the count goes to 2-1. Lanehart did come in with 6 RBIs overall on the season. So would need to drive in both to tie this game as the rain still falls here in Kenai. So Lacey looks in his 2-1. A fastball that is hit high in the air over to the shallow left field. Originally calling everyone off was Kona Quiggle, Drew Swift, but then Kona Quiggle was the one making the sliding catch for out number 2. So it wasn't the prettiest of outs, but nevertheless, it was an out.
Well, I think Quiggle and Swift are kind of just smiling back and forth at each other, and the manager Ben Taylor is, I don't know if he's concerned, worried, but it looks like all smiles around, as that one could have been dangerous, but it goes in the Miners' favor.
Well, two things why you would smile after that play instead of being mad. A, you got the out, and B, none of your players ran into each other, and Quiggle did a nice job of that, of sliding sort of behind Swift, and then right before that ball dropped, he threw out the leather to make the catch. And
I just like it how they both kind of sheepishly look over to Ben Taylor and see what his reaction is.
yeah. So with 2 outs, Chad Bible steps in from the right side of the dish as Asa Lacey tries to work out of this situation with runners on first and second. Nice change up on the first pitch that has Bible swinging. Bible is 0 for 2 tonight as well. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Get out of this inning unscathed as his Miners hold a 5-3 lead over the Oilers. So Lacey comes set from his chest, takes a glance at second. Now is ready to motion to the plate. Big bender that misses high. Walters had to reach up to grab that one. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the Oilers came into tonight, they only had 2 players batting above 250 that qualified, that is. They did have some guys in the 300, but with very minimal at bats. So Lacey kicks and deals. His 1-1 is bounced right back up the middle. Making the play is Caleb Van Blake from second and will touch second base for out number 3. So Asa Lacey, after allowing back-to-back base hits, then gets 2 Oilers out in a row, and the Miners still lead 5-3 as we head into the 6th inning on Matsu Miners Radio. So as we enter the 6th inning, the Miners lead 5-3, although after scoring in the first 2 innings, the Miners have gone scoreless in the past 3, as Matt Eimrein still out on the mound, and if he can work through this 6th inning, it would be his longest appearance. And his longest appearance came in his first outing, where he went 2 2/3, where he's the winning pitcher against the Bucks. So he'll face the top of the Miners order in the 1-2-3 batters, Quiggle, Wright, and Van Blake. Kona Quiggle, after going 0 for 5 last night with 4 strikeouts, has done a better job tonight. Is 0 for 1 with the 1 strikeout, but in his first 2 at-bats, he did reach on a walk and then came around to score both times. So Kona's been doing a nice job in that leadoff role, getting on and getting in. One of the main goals as a leadoff man. So he'll stand in from the left side of the plate. Imrine's first pitch to Quiggle has him swinging through, sort of a slow swing, but pops it behind us on the box for a foul. Miners leading the Oilers in the standings. These are the first and second place teams. Miners at 19-10, Oilers at 15-14. Amrine's second pitch to Quiggle hits the inside part of the zone for a second strike. Miners 4 games ahead. The Bucks are in third at 13 and 15. They're 5.5 back. 6.5 back are the Chinooks. In the basement, also 6.5 back, is the Oilers. So Kona Quiggle gets just a piece of it to keep this count at 0-2. Kona now with 23 strikeouts on the season looks to protect 24. Check that. Now with the strikeout earlier in this game. So the 0-2 misses inside as Quiggle hops out of the way of it. And the Miners strike out the least out of any team in the ABL at 180. Tonight, that's changed by a few as they've struck out 4 times. So Woods 1-2 is poked out into left field. Moving back and over to his right is Chad Bible, and he makes the catch just before stepping on the warning track for out number 1. So Kona Quiggle retired for the second time tonight, as it brings up Danny Wright, who in his first 2 at-bats was just simply there to move over runners. A sac bunt in both of those. And then when he got the chance to swing, grounded out to the third baseman, Grant Wood. So Danny Wright hit with nobody on here in the top of the 6th inning. Miners lead 5-3 with 1 out. Danny Wright in the series is 5 of 14 now, as Amrine's first pitch misses low to Danny Wright. Danny Wright playing right field tonight, has played all over for the Miners, as the 1-0 pitch is a fastball that hits the lower part of the zone for strike 1. Wright, we've seen all over the outfield and has played second and third so far on the infield, so a nice utility option for the Miners as he rockets one foul down the right field line. So he's fallen behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's always important to have a utility player like Danny Wright, especially with how he's hitting currently, to throw in any part of the infield or outfield, that is. So the 1-2, a big bender that Wright just couldn't help but look at, and he'll be set down in strikes. That's Amrine's 5th strikeout of the night. And the Miners now have 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 4th strikeout, that is, for Amrine. I beg your pardon. So Caleb Van Blake steps in from the left side of the dish. Van Blake, 0 for 1, flew out in the 4th inning. Was hit by a pitch in the first and then reached on a walk in the second as he swings through that first pitch from Amrine.
Well, it seems like the goal for Van Blake is to get a hit every time up, as should every batter's, but he shows the disappointment when he doesn't.
So the 0-1, this is just a bloop to the third baseman, Grant Wood, who just takes a step over to his left to make the catch. So we'll head into the bottom of the 6th inning after the Miners are set down in order, and they still lead the Peninsula Oilers 5-3. Asa Lacy on for his 6th inning of work as the Miners lead the Oilers 5-3 in the home half of the 6th inning. Asa Lacy has gone 6 or longer in his back-to-back starts, but that's the only time in his 5 starts that he is, rather 4 starts, he's gone 6 innings or longer. So he'll face Novus, Wood, and Kunst to start this home half of the sixth inning. So the Oilers only scoring in that second inning. Other than that, so if as a pitching staff you can shut out teams in most innings, you're definitely gonna have a great chance of winning. So Lacey's first pitch into Ryan Novus misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Novus 1 for 2 tonight, had a hit in the second inning. And actually, the Oilers are leading the Miners in hits 5-4 as Lacey misses low with a fastball, disappointed himself with that one. But the Miners have the current last laugh as they lead the score 5-3. So Lacey winds and deals. His 1-0 misses inside. So the count will go to 2-0. Novus ahead in the count. Novus now 5 hits in this series. So has had a hit in 12 out of his past 13 games as he looks at a strike inside. Excuse me, that last pitch before the strike was a ball, or rather the third ball. So 3-1 count. Lacey winds and delivers, gets Novus to foul it off. So Novus standing in from the right side of the dish. Lacey winds and delivers his 3-2. That is lined into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. And rather, that was Ryan Cook in hitting there for the Oilers. So apologies on that one. So Ryan Cook with a base hit, his 23rd of the year. Hits his 6th hit against the Miners all season long. And now Ryan Novus will step up to the dish. So once again, Asa Lacey will work from the stretch. It is the third time out of his 6 innings of work he's done so. So Novus, if you remember all those stats I just ran through, those were Ryan Novus' stats. Nevertheless, Novus bats from the right side of the dish. It would be the tying run if he could come across to score, as the Miners lead the Oilers 5-3 with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lacey's first pitch swung on and missed by Ryan Novus for strike 1. Nice breaking pitch there from Asa Lacey, who's trying to go 6 innings of work for the second time this season. He did so prior to his previous start against the Oilers, where he went 6 innings and gave up 1 run. So he takes a glance at first, now motions to the plate. He'll miss outside with that pitch.
And Lacey, he hasn't been as dominant as he's been in the past, but he's able to work through these starts and just kind of eat up some innings for the Miners.
So Lacey from the stretch looks in as Ryan Novus taps the plate and then swings the bat around. Lacey will check first and then take a step off the rubber to take a break as he wants Aaron Walters to run through some pitches. And now we'll toe the rubber once again. That rain is still falling here at Coral Seymour Park in Kenai, Alaska, as it's been doing ever since we came to the ballpark. So the 1-1, as Novus had the bunt out but pulled it back at the last second as that pitch missed low and inside. So Lacey's falling behind 2-1. As the Oilers may be trying to do a bit of small ball to possibly tie this game up. So Novus once again steps into the plate. Bozetti now playing inside that third base bag. So Lacey, his 2-1 pitch is fouled straight back as Cook was on the move for the Oilers. He does not have a stolen base on the season, so that was a hit and run scenario for Novus. As we mentioned, any way the Oilers can get going, they would like to. As in the past week, they were only batting .231 with just 22 runs scored. So anytime they can get the offense going, they would like to. So Lacey from the stretch is 2-2. That is blooped into center field, moving over, but not being able to get there in time is Braden Merritt. So that'll fall. So back-to-back base hits to start the home half of the 6th inning for the Oilers. And they now have the tying run on first as they trail 5-3.
Well, this one is exactly like the second inning where they scored 2 off of Lacey. Cook led off with a single, Novus led off with a single, and then Wood had a double. This is verbatim what happened in the second. Same situation here.
So we'll see a mound visit from pitching coach Jeff Erlab. Talk to his left-handed pitcher Asa Lacey. I'd like to thank the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about the Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in for your chance to win today. Sort of recap the scenario that's been going on in this game. The Miners tacked on 3 runs in the first inning, 2 in the second, have yet to score since. And the Oilers had a 3-run second inning, and that was their only inning of production in the runs department. And currently, they have runners on first and second after back-to-back base hits to start the home half of the 6th inning. So Grant Wood will step up to the dish. Third baseman out of Murray State is 1 for 2 today. Had a double back in the second inning that brought across 2 Oiler runs. So the right-handed hitting Wood now 7 doubles on the season and 12 RBIs. Just has 4 hits in his past 17 at-bats. So Lacey comes set after the meeting. Wood looking to bunt, has it all the way, as it's just barely gets in the air a little bit and then bounces foul. So he'll fall behind 0-1. And once Lacey came set, Wood had the bunt out in front of him. So definitely a sacrifice bunt scenario to try to get those runners on second and third with only 1 out. As currently we have no outs in the bottom of the 6th. The Miners lead 5-3. As the Oilers actually have 7 hits on this ball game, opposed to the Miners 4. So Lacey looks in. Corners are in for the Miners. Middle infield playing double play depth. Lacey's 0-1 is on its way as he kicks and then looks back, trying to fool the Oilers runners. Just to keep them honest, and you have to, especially in these sacrifice situations where they could just be an autopilot trying to move over. So Lacey looks in, gets his pitch from his chest. The 0-1 is a nice fastball that paints that high outside corner for a strike. Wood did not think it was going to be a strike as he pulled back the bunt, but it was. So excellent pitch from Asa Lacey, and he's ahead in the count 0-2. We saw yesterday the Oilers tried to bunt with 2 strikes. It did not work out in their favor. So we'll see if the same situation is on. The corner stay in for the Miners. Lacey's 0-2 pitch just misses outside, so the count will go to 1 balls and 2 strikes. So the Oilers, who have not taken advantage of home field, losing 6 out of their past 7, looking to change that today, but they trail the Miners right now. And the 1-2 from Lacey is a breaking ball that Wood dribbles over to the right side and foul. So Grant Wood looking for his second hit today to drive in possibly Cook and Novus and tie this ball game up at 5. There is someone up in the Miners' pen along with the Oilers' pen. So Lacey's 1-2. Fouled straight back into the netting. Nice at bat here from Grant Wood. Doing a nice job of protecting. Not trying to be set down by Asa Lacey. Who Lacey hasn't had a strikeout in a bit. After striking out the first 2 batters, has yet to do so since, as we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lacey's 1-2. This one is skied in the air. Moving back is Braden Merritt. He makes the overhead catch. So the Oilers runners are tagging and on the move. Both will advance safely. So in the end of it, Wood still does move the runners over, just in a little more exciting fashion.
Well, that was a deep ball right down into center field. Merritt did a nice job running it down, making the catch on the run, and then getting the ball in quickly.
Yeah, he really had to be careful, so runners wouldn't move just in one bag. And with run out and runners on second and third, the runner on second being the tying run, Paul Kunst will step in, who's 0 for 1 tonight. Sacrifice bunt back in the second, and then flew out to Aaron Walters back in the 5th. So infield will come in for the Miners with 1 out. Interesting to see what Kunst does right now, as it looks like we'll have an intentional walk. So they'll load the bases up for Matthew Kirk. It'll be interesting to see if we'll see a pitching change for the Miners, as there will only be one out and the bases will be full. So Lacey's second pitch is on the way, and it missed well high, but it's coming a little more in than I think Aaron Walters would like it.
Well, who knows? You might catch somebody off guard and have it be called a strike.
Yeah, you could. As so counts now 3-0, as the Miners defensemen just kind of stand around and waiting for Kuntz to be given his base. So Lacey, his 3-0 pitch is intentionally ball four. So the Oilers now will have bases loaded with one out, and Matthew Kirk stepping to the dish. Left-handed right fielder. And as it seems, Asa Lacey will be on the face, as skipper Ben Taylor just gives him the good nod out on the mound. And Drew Swift will call a little meeting between Lacey, the catcher Walters, and himself. Little pep talk on what they should do. So Kirk, if you remember, had that big 3-run home run back in game one. It really got the Oilers scoring going.
That was his first home run of the season.
Yeah, and the only hit so far of the series for him, as he enters 1 for 8. Now he's 1 for 10, but has 4 RBIs by the Miners, because that ground out in the second was an RBI. So bases loaded to 3 is your score. Miners on top. Kirk, first pitch swinging, rounds it behind Walters for strike 1. So Lacey trying to get out of this inning and provide his 5th scoreless inning of the ball game. Going to be tough to do so, as the middle infield will play double play depth. First baseman Hatcher is playing in his regular spot, and Bozzetti is in line with the bag at third. So Lacey from the stretch. His 0-1 pitch is a breaker that is dribbled right back to Lacey. He'll throw home for 1, and Walters will hold off from throwing down to first for 2. And now the Miners do get a huge out there, and we'll have 2 outs. The bases are still loaded for the Oilers.
You know, and Ben Taylor showing a lot of trust in his pitcher on the mound, and Asa Lacey walking with the bases loaded. Now he gets another out, and Asa just 1 out away from ending this threat from the Oilers.
Yeah, he really is. And Lacey has shown that he can be a dominant pitcher all season long, and just trying to do so once again now, as skipper Ben Taylor will make a trip to the mound. So we will see a new pitcher for the Matsu Miners, as Asa Lacey's day is over. And we'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. So the new pitcher for the Matsu Miners will be Malachi Emmond, as he comes in with 2 outs. And the bases are loaded still for the Miners. So Asa Lacey works 5 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. Rather, check that, 7 hits, and struck out 2. So Malachi Emmond looking to come in for big relief, as he's done so for the most part all season long. In 11 1/3 innings pitched, this is in 10 appearances, has gone a 3.17 ERA, struck out 22 batters in that span. So Malachi has done really a nice job of fooling any hitter that he faces.
Yes, he has, and he really likes to keep batters guessing with that slider. And I asked him about who taught you how to throw the slider, and he said his father. So he did a very nice job, of developing his craft and being able to put away batters.
So Emmons steps in with the bases loaded as he'll face Bryce Bigell with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Miners do lead 5-3. So Emmons from the stretch, his first pitch is a fastball that misses outside. The last time we saw Malachi on the mound was July 3rd against the Bucks, where he had an inning of scoreless effort, only gave up 1 hit and walked 1 as well. So looking for more of the same right now from Malachi. So he'll come set from the chest. His 1-0 is that slider that we were just talking about. Gets Big L to swing through, so the count is tied up at 1. All infielders playing back and at their normal depths. Outfield is straight away. Rain still continues to fall here in Kenai. It's definitely been a wet one. A lot of umbrellas here at Coral Seymour Park. So Emmons 1-1. A slider that misses outside. The count goes to 2-1 strike. Now, all 3 of Malachi's pitches have hit the outside part of the plate. Big L is 1 for 1 tonight. Reached twice, a walk in the 2nd and a single back in the 5th. So he's now up to 2 hits on the series. As Emmons 2-1. A fastball tapped right back to him. He tried to barehand it. And on the throw down to first, he slips. So that'll be well off the mark and rolled towards the fence as Josh Hatcher grabs it. So a real unfortunate series of events there for the Matsu Miners. As Malachi Emmons originally tried to barehand that ball, and then on his throw down to first, lost his footing. So the throw was nowhere near. And now this ball game is tied up at 5 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
We've seen Malachi use the bare hand play before on choppers right back to the mound, and with the wet grass and field conditions not being so great, it slipped out of his hand when he tried to recover and throw. He hurried his throw and slipped on the ground, and well, 2 runs scored.
So now we have runners on 2nd and 3rd. There still is 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th as Zach Zaleski steps to the plate. A first pitch slider from Malachi Emmons that just barely nips Zaleski, so the bases will be loaded once again with 2 outs. As Emmons really having a tough go of it right now, and that's real unfortunate for Malachi. He had the pitch he wanted and a nice dribbler. It should be an out as he tried to recover quickly, just couldn't quite get his footing. You mentioned that wet grass as that rain still continues to pour down as we're tied up at 5 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Emmons will come set. His first pitch into Brian Leonhardt is a big swing that is bounced foul into the dirt. Leonhardt is 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout back in the 1st inning. So 0-1 now is your count. So the Oilers have only scored in 2 innings, but got 3 in one and 2 in the other, as the Miners got the same path 1st and 2nd innings, as Emmons' fastball misses low and inside to the left-handed hitting Leonhardt. So the count is 1-1. So those 2 runs will be attested to Asa Lacy, but they will go down as unearned runs. So Emmons' 1-1 pitch is a nice slider that Leonhardt was completely fooled on. Emmons started that on the inside portion of the plate, and then it just dive bombed towards Leonhardt's ankles. So he's ahead in the count 1-2, and he'll try to get out of this inning with the game still being tied up at 5. So Emmons from his chest, his 1-2 pitch gets Leonhardt to swing through. That was in the dirt. So Walters will just simply tap home as the bases were loaded to end the inning. But not before the Oilers tack on 2 more runs to tie this game up at 5. And as we head into the final, throw it back over to Connor Mills for the call.
Spencer Henson will come to the plate as it's a new ball game here in the top of the seventh inning. The first pitch from Ammerhein is a breaking ball that hits the outside corner. Malachi Emmon came in relief of Asa Lacey, got the ground ball he needed, but because of the weather conditions, an error was made and 2 runs scored. So it's the Miners 5, the Oilers 5, as the count into Spencer Henson is 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody out here in the top of the seventh inning. 1-1 from Emmerheim is getting Henson out in front of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Seen a lot of errors this series now. The total is up to 10 through this being the 5th game.
1-2 to Spencer Henson from Matt Ammerheim. The pitch swung on and fouled off. So Henson stays alive at the plate, and for Spencer, reached base on an error, came around to score in the first, popped out to center field, and then struck out. So 0 for 2 on the day. Ammerheim from the windup. The pitch, a slow breaking ball that gets Henson to pop up in foul territory. First baseman's going to be called off by the second baseman, Evan Berkey. So Evan Berkey came in to pinch hit for Bryce Bigell back in the bottom of the 6th inning. As now the infield reads Grant Wood at third, Paul Kunst at short, and Evan Berkey is at second base with Brian Leonhardt at first. We'll see a pitching change here on the top of the 7th as Josh Hatcher will come to the plate. He's the man on deck. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 5. When we return, we'll let you know what's going on. So coming on in relief for Matt Ammerheim is Noah Owen. The ball game is tied up at 5, and final stat line on Ammerheim: 3 1/3 of an innings pitched, allowed a hit, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Noah Owen is the man on the mound out of the University of San Diego, where he was a freshman, as he gets Hatcher to take a big cut. No balls, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Second pitch on the way, fouled off by Hatcher. And for Noah Owen out of Oceanside, California, 0 for 2 on the season, of 5.74 ERA, has started 3 games but have appeared in relief appearances for the other 3. Has pitched 15 2/3, 9 strikeouts, 13 walks. As that's the first ball into Josh Hatcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Noah Owen last appeared against the Miners on July 6th, just 2 days ago, as Hatcher fouls that ball off of a check swing. Owen went 2 innings, allowed no runs, gave up a hit and a strikeout with 7 batters faced when the Miners defeated the Oilers 5-1. As the pitch from Owen gets Hatcher looking for strike 3. The ball looked like it was inside, but then broke late right over the plate, as that's the second out here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Josh Hatcher did not believe so. He even just had a nice conversation with Scott Johnston, sort of talking about it and then walking away from it, shaking his head.
So Henson went down on a fly ball to second base. Then Josh Hatcher retired on strikes. At the plate, Aaron Walters. First pitch from Owen to Walters is fastball too far outside. And for Walters, he came into today's game, and over the last week, he's been batting .571 as he swings and chops this one back to Owen, who runs all the way to first base to then throw the shorthand, underhand toss. And that's the third out. So not much going on for the Matsu Miners here in the top of the seventh inning. The ball game is tied at 5 between the Miners and the Oilers. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Malachi Edmond on his second Rafi Case Lacey back in the bottom of the sixth inning as we're here in the bottom of the seventh. And the final stat line on Lacey: 5 2/3 of innings pitched, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, only 3 were earned, allowed a walk, and got 2 strikeouts. So not the best performance from Lacey today, but still, he was able to fight through it, gave the Miners 5 2/3, and really left with a winning chance.
Yeah, anytime your starting pitcher can give you a chance to win a ball game, that's really all you ask out of them.
As the off-speed pitch of Malachi Emmond into Chad Bible is called for a strike. Malachi head 0-1 with nobody out here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Slider misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So far on the day for Chad Bible, he flew out to center field, had a 5-3 putout as he grounds this one over to short. Swift has it, throws on over to first in time for the first out. So Chad Bible tied on the 6-3 putouts for first out here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Ryan Cook stands in from the right side. And for Cook, 2 for 3 on the day, has come around to score twice that he's reached the base paths. Now 21 runs scored on the season, as Emmons' pitch is a fastball that misses high and inside for ball 1. So Cook and then Novus do up here in the bottom of the seventh, as Cook gives this one a ride deep into left center field. Braden Merritt's under it, makes a catch in front of the Dairy Queen sign for the second out. So a long fly ball for Ryan Cook that Braden Merritt's able to make a catch on. And with that, Ryan Novus now stands in. Novus, as well, is 2 for 3 on the day. And both times have come around to score when he's reached the base paths. Evans' first pitch into him is a slider that breaks over the zone for a called strike. And for Novus, now has 2 singles on the day, 5 doubles on the season, a triple, and 1 home run. As Evans' 0-1 pitch misses outside, count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away.
It's good to see Emmons settling into his own after giving up those 2 runs, which were not attested to him, but off that error. So good to see that he's got his confidence back up.
The 1-1 misses outside for ball 2. Malachi put in a very difficult situation trying to get the outs in the bottom of the 6th. And as we said, got the ground ball, but it is just wet out there as the rain is still coming down here at Coral St. Maur Memorial Fields in Kenai, Alaska, as Novus pops this one up out into center fields. Braden Merritt makes the one-hand grab. That is retired. So a 1-2-3 inning for Malachi Emmond here in the bottom of the 7th. We're heading towards the top of the 8th inning. The Matsu Miners are tied with the Peninsula Oilers at 5. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Tyler Bassetti will lead things off here in the top of the 8th inning, where the Matsu Miners are tied with the Peninsula Oilers, all tied up at 5. Bassetti today is 0 for 1, or 1 for 2, excuse me, as the fastball in from Noah's side. 1 ball, no strikes with nobody out. Second pitch in. Fastball misses low this time. 2 balls and no strikes. And for Bassetti, he walked in the first, grounded into a fielder's choice back in the second, as that's ball 3 from Owen. And then also had a base hit. Got around to third base, but could not score in the 5th inning. The 3-0 pitch is taken all the way for strike 1, with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning.
It was nice to see Bozzetti get around on one in his last at bat.
The 3-1 is taken as well for strike 2, as Bassetti thought that might have been maybe a little higher, maybe a little outside. But he'll still remain at the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. The pitch in from Noah Owen is swung on. This one's line drive out into center field, and he is 2 for 3. So Tyler Bassetti getting a back-to-back singles and back-to-back plate appearances for him.
But his swing's better. Just unfortunately, he hasn't been able to connect with the ball. And when he does, you can see it today. He gets a couple of hits and he hits the ball very well.
Hitting is all about timing, and Bassetti has his timing down today. With a runner on first base, Braden Merritt, the lefty, is at the plate. As he might be asked to bunt here, he turns, squares one down, and it's a good one right up the first base line. The pitcher, Owen, underhand toss to first in time for the first out. A good sacrifice bunt. Braden Merritt gets the job done here in the top of the 8th inning as Tyler Bassetti moves from first over to second. A runner is in scoring position for the shortstop, Drew Swift.
And the 2 times the Miners have sack bunted today, it's worked out in their favor. That run has ended up to come across and score that got moved over to second. So hopefully the same result right now for the Miners, as every run does matter.
Well, it is cold, it is windy, and it is raining here. And I am fairly certain that no one would like to see this game go into extra innings. As the first pitch into Drew Swift is a fastball in for a called strike. So Bassetti is on second base. Drew Swift is at the plate. He had a double back in the third inning. He is 1 for 3 on the day. The 0-1 pitch is on the way, almost gets away from the catcher. Zaleski has to make a backhand catch on that one, coming across his body. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on. Swift with a little wiggle in his bat before the pitch, and it's ready. Curveball misses low and away for ball 2. Swift stole his 12th stolen base on the season. That happened back in the third inning. He now is at the top of the ABL in stolen bases. Shortstop moves back over. Kunst drawing Tyler Bassetti back to the base.
Yeah, nice job from Bozzetti recognizing that they're trying to pull a quick one on him, but he wasn't having any of it.
That's also what the third base coach and the first base coach are there for. Let them know what's going on behind them. As the 2-1 hits the zone, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. With this ball game tied at 5 between the Matsu Miners and the Peninsula Oilers.
Drew Swift just whips his head around in disgust as he thought that was one. It definitely was a ball. Muttered some words, but
The 2-2 on the way from Owen is a breaking ball low and away for ball 3. So the words did not affect how big the strike zone would be from the home plate umpire, Scott Johnston.
and Swift did the smart thing. Always turn away, and don't directly murmur those words in the area of the umpire.
3-2 the count. Noah Owen from the stretch. He's ready. The pitch swung on and fouled off towards the left side. That one's near the Miners' dugout.
Swift was well out in front of that one, just needed to wait on that breaking ball just a half second longer and could have sprayed it out into the field of play.
Miners are looking to take 4 out of 5 here in Kenai as they dropped the first game but have now won 3 straight here at Coral Seymour Memorial Field as Swift is swinging and fouls it straight back over the press box and, of course, out of play. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Tyler Bassetti is the man in scoring position. He's on second base. The shortstop, Paul Kunst, is creeping in behind him. And we'll back away. The 3-2 is swung on and another foul ball for Drew Swift. Swift doing a nice job extending this at bat and staying alive at the plate.
Yeah, he really is. As Noah just came in last inning, so the Miners haven't really seen him much today. But Swift really showing off how many pitches Owen has in his arsenal.
Noah's ready. The 3-2, a breaking ball that is high and inside for ball 4. That was a nasty looking curveball, a 12-6. But it goes in favor of the Matsu Miners as that's ball 4 for Drew Swift. And now with 1 out, there are runners on first and second base against Noah Owen. And now we'll see the pitching coach, or actually, we will see Kyle Brown, the head coach. It's nice when the names are on the back of the jerseys. That way we can decipher what member of the coaching staff is walking out to the mound.
And that may have been the slowest walk out to the mound I may have witnessed in my life right there. Kyle Brown maybe trying to use it as a tactic to stop the Miners' momentum. They have no one up in the pen. Seems as if almost someone is by the door ready to come in. But going to be interesting to see whether they pull Owen or not.
Well, they did draw a lot of the members of the bullpen into the dugout as to try to match the level of intensity as the Miners bullpen brings day in and day out. And it looks like we will see a pitching change. The man on the mound, it looks like Andrew Lopez, but we'll clarify with you if that is him when we return. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. This ball game is tied up at 5. Kona Quiggle is at the plate as he will face not Andrew Lopez, but this is Calvin Ferris. Ferris comes in to relieve Noah Owen, who went an inning, allowed a hit. No runs yet, but the runners on first and second base will be his responsibility should they come around to score. Had a walk and a strikeout. Kona Quiggle, the first pitch, he is swinging. He swings through for strike 1. So on the count, 1 out, runners on first and second base here in the top of the 8th inning. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 5. Second pitch in from Calvin Ferris is a ball that gets away from Zaleski, and the ball is still away from him. Zaleski tried to slide it and get it, but he only kicked it further away. Not noticing was Tyler Bassetti on second base, and Drew Swift on first could not move because Bassetti's in front of him. And it's a hard ball to see because at second base, you can't really see through the catcher to try to get to the ball.
Yeah, and so so far the tally is Grass 2, player 0. Malachi Emmon fell victim to it, and now Zach Zaleski falls victim, and a little more harshly as it seems like his hand may have been hurt in the process trying to break his fall. And unfortunately, Bozzetti just kind of turned his head and started jogging back to second, thinking Zaleski had it gathered.
Well, from what we've gathered, Zach Zaleski is and has been a tough player in this series as he'll take a warm-up pitch to try to test his hand. And he says he's all right. And I say tough too because it is tough to win the College World Series as he's from Oregon State.
It definitely is. And anytime you injure yourself in a colder day like today, it's going to sting just a little bit more.
So now with the count, 1 ball and 1 strike into Kona Quiggle. Runners are at first and second base. The pitch to Quiggle is taken all the way. That's a ball low. Calvin Ferris is behind on Kona Quiggle. 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 out. Quiggle today walked twice, struck out once, and flew out to left field. The 2-1 is on the way. This is a ground ball towards the hole, but ranging over and making the play is the first baseman Leonhardt, who tosses over to Ferris, covering the bag. A nice 3-1 putouts on Conequiggle.
Yeah, that does move over the runners. However, it does give up an out, but now runners on second and third is pretty dangerous.
So now Danny Wright, the switch hitter, batting in on the left side. Infield is playing deep. They are all the way back with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Outfield is straight away. A little delay right now as Calvin Ferris is off the mound, but he's back on, pitching from the stretch. A look back to second, and now to Danny Wright. Fastball misses low and inside, bounces in the dirt. Ferris kind of saying that's my bad. And yeah, he pitched it, but maybe held on to it a little too long.
Yeah, or it could have been a fastball that was called to be high and he delivered it low. And especially with the man on third, you have to be precise on what pitches you're going to be throwing and on the same page.
So 1 ball, no strikes into Danny Wright. The pitch is swung on, ground ball over to second base. Berkey has it, throws to first in time, and that's the 3rd out here on the top of the 8th inning. It's the Matsu Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers 5, and it's the bottom of the 8th inning coming up next. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Welcome back into the bottom half of the 8th inning. This is Brad Walker filling in for Connor Mills on a short break. So we'll see a new pitcher for the Miners in right-handed reliever Spencer Henson, the two-way player who's done a great job of hitting tonight for the Miners, or rather hitting this season for the Miners. Also has done a pretty nice job out on the bump as well. In 3 appearances, has a 1-0 record with a perfect ERA in 6 2/3 innings pitched. Has struck out 7 and walked 5 batters. The last time Henson pitched was on June 29th, where he went 1 2/3 inning, had a hit and allowed a walk as well and 2 strikeouts. So Henson and the Miners are 3-0 when Henson hits and pitches. As last year, Henson for the Miners was actually a starter, pitched more than he hit, but due to his stellar spring at Oral Roberts, has become more of a hitter, and obviously this season from the dish is done. So he'll be on to face Wood, Kunst, and Kirk here in the bottom of the 8th inning, where we're still squared up at 5, as both of these teams have only scored in 2 innings apiece. The Miners scoring come in the 1st and the 2nd, and the Oilers have scored in the 2nd and the 6th innings. So we do have 5 runs, and last night was a close contest where the Miners got the advantage thanks to the man on the mound right now, Spencer Henson's go-ahead hit in the top of the 9th inning. So he is the designated hitter, so he'll just move into the pitching spot and still be able to hit, as he is due up next inning. So a quick meeting on the mound between Hatcher, Walters, and Henson, as the right-handed hitting Wood will step into the dish, as Wood is 1 for 3 tonight with a double and 2 RBIs. So the Miners trying to extend their series lead over the Oilers 6-3 tonight and improve and get 20 wins on the season, which is one of the the box goals on the Miners roster. As swinging through that was Wood, as it bounced just in foul territory before it hit over into fair territory. So Wood will fall behind in the count 0-1. with nobody out here in the bottom of the eighth inning. Henson still working on the mound for the Miners against the right-handed hitter out of Murray State and Grand Wood. So the 0-1, a big bender that drops in, that misses high. The count goes to 1-1 with nobody out. So 4 times we've already seen in this series that the game has been decided by 2 or less runs, as this one is a bouncer over to Rossetti, who makes the nice play. The throw was a bit high, but Hatcher reaches it for out number 1. So with 1 down, that's going to bring up the shortstop, Paul Kunst. Kunst tonight has reached just once and reached on an intentional walk back in the 5th inning, rather 6th inning. So Kunst, the right-handed hitter. 1 down, bottom of the 8th. Henson winds and delivers. This one is dribbled just foul, so the count will move to 0-1. And I'll toss it back over to my partner, Connor Mills, who has returned from a short break.
Oh, thank you, Brad. Sometimes you just got to go, and it was time anyway. 0-1 count in here to Paul Kunst. Reach base once. As a pitch misses from Spencer Henson. Counts that 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the ball game is tied at 5. The pitch swung on and popped straight up. Spencer Henson making the call. Now it's going to be the first baseman, Josh Hatcher, coming in. A big flyout from Paul Kunst, as that one just was hit up, and it very high ball. So Grant Wood retired on a ground out to third. Paul Kunst, infield pop-up, and now Matthew Kirk stands in at the plate. Kirk today, RBI ground out as he's first pitch swinging over to Caleb Van Blake at second. The throw in time, good for the 3rd out of the inning. So we are still tied at 5 through 8 innings of play. Matsu Miners come to the plate in the top of the 9th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Due up here in the top of the 9th inning is Caleb Van Blake, Spencer Henson, and Josh Hatcher. Calvin Ferris still on the mound for the Oilers as this ball game is tied up at 5. The Miners 5 runs on 5 hits and an error. For the Oilers, 5 runs, 7 hits, and an error of their own. First pitch into Van Blake is a fastball that misses low and away for ball 1. On the day, Van Blake was hit by a pitch in the first. He walked in the second, flew out to right field, and then also flew out to the third baseman. Second pitch misses low and inside, ball 2. And just yesterday, the Miners were able to score 1 in the top of the 9th to have the go-ahead run and win 5-4. This ball game, it's tied up at 5.
And the man that did so is standing in the on deck circles, so the Oilers have to be cautious on what they do to Van Blake right here.
2 other counts of Van Blake. A breaking ball is in for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out, top of the 9th. Van Blake, 4 extra base hits on the season, 3 of them doubles, and has a home run as that breaking ball misses away. So 3 balls, 1 strike, and nobody out. Miners looking to get the leadoff man on base and looking to knock him in. Calvin Ferris pitching from the stretch. He's ready. The pitch swung on, line drive into left field for a base hit. Caleb Van Blake, his first hit of the day, comes here in the top of the 9th inning.
And what a time to get ahead of the most dangerous and one of the more clutch hitters, as Henson coming in 5th in RBIs in the ABL, stands in yesterday, delivered huge with that single to give him the go-ahead lead. Let's see what he does now, as Calvin Ferris has to have sweaty palms.
Well, Spencer Henson today, a little rough go of it. Reached base on an error, flew out to center field, struck out, and also popped up to second. So Spencer Henson looking for his first hit on the day, as the pitch is a breaking ball that goes into the dirt. And anything in the dirt is going to be something of trouble for the pitchers, as it is a wet one out here at Carl Seymour Memorial Field. 1-0 on the way. Henson takes it for a strike. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Runner on first base here in the top of the 9th inning. Miners now have 6 hits on the day, as Ferris's 1-1 is grounded over to short in time for 1, thrown over to second for 2. A 6-4-3 double play in the top of the 9th inning. So that erases Van Blake and Henson, with Josh Hatcher coming to the plate.
Yeah, it's real tough ground out there from Henson, who's been having just a tough go of it this series. Really did have that highlight, though, yesterday, giving the Miners a go ahead, and he would have liked to do the same, but they're still alive here with 2 outs.
Josh Hatcher, lefty, first pitch swing, ground ball over to third. Wood has it. A low throw over to first. A good pick from Brian Leonhardt. The Miners go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 9th inning. We're headed towards the bottom of the 9th inning with this ball game remaining tied. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 5. And we'll be right back here on Matsu Miners Radio.
Now batting for the Oilers, number 6, Evan Berkey.
Evan Berkey will lead things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. A run in this inning would walk it off for the Oilers, and snap the Miners' 3-game winning streak. It would also bring the Oilers' 3-game losing streak to an end. As we have played 4 straight, this is the 5th game in a row between the Miners and Oilers. First pitch from Henson into Berkey is low and away for a ball. Berkey was at the plate as he tries to get a bunt down here, as is going to be called a strike by Scott Johnston. Berkey was at the plate when he back to Malachi Emmons. Ball was slippery, fell out of his hand. When he tried to recover, the grass underneath him went. 2 runs scored on the error, and that's how we're tied here, as this one swung on and found back, almost hitting the press box. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the 9th inning. Spencer Henson looking to send this thing into extras.
Henson has definitely come in for late inning relief effort multiple times for the Miners, and he's been very clutch when doing so.
The 1-2 from Spencer Henson is a breaking ball, misses outside for ball 2. Two the count to Evan Berkey. The pitch from Henson is another breaker that misses outside. A nice job from Berkey to lay off.
Yeah, it really was. Henson's offered up 2 now breaking pitches that start outside and then really dive even more outside. But way to be honest there from Evan Berkey.
Count is full. The pitch from Henson is looked at for ball 4. A fastball rode high and inside. The leadoff man is on base for the Peninsula Oilers.
Now batting for the Oilers, catcher number 11, Oregon State, Zach Zaleski.
So Bryce Miguel is on base. Zach Zaleski is at the plate. Zaleski today, he has 1 hit and 4 trips to the plate. Has also struck out, flew out to the left, and was hit by a pitch. The bunt attempt is laid down. Walter's only play will be to first, and that's in time. So a sacrifice bunt for Zach Zaleski moves Evan Berkey
Now batting for the
from
Oilers,
first base to second base, and Brian Leonhardt is at the plate.
Yeah, Walters took a second to think about going down to second, but it had been a real close play. And if he throws that anywhere higher into the outfield, Berkey is going into third, which make it even harder.
Miners will set up a double play situation and intentionally walk Brian Leonhardt with first base open. Leonhardt on the day struck out looking in the first, popped up to third in the third, flew out to left in the 5th, and then struck out in the 6th. They are looking to keep Leonhardt quiet on the day as they'll award him an intentional base on balls. Three balls. That's the 4th one. Brian Leonhardt takes his intentional walk from Spencer Henson. Now there are runners on first and second base.
Now batting for the Oilers,
And Chad Bible at the plate.
San Diego State.
And with that, pitching coach Jeff Verlab will have a mound visit with the infield in.
And this is such a huge moment right here with runners on first and second. Pitching coach Jeff Verlab really wants to make sure Henson is throwing the kinds of pitches that he should, especially with the scouting reports, making sure everyone on the infield is on the same page on where to go with the ball. And with it being a tie ball game, every moment matters.
So there are runners on first and second base. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The winning run for the Peninsula Oilers is on second in Evan Berkey. Chad Bible is at the plate. Bible today has been held hitless. Flew out to center, ground ball to third and short as the first pitch goes high and inside from Spencer Henson. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Bible also grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 5th. The 1-0 is another high and inside pitch from Spencer Henson. It's now 2 balls, no strikes, and 1 out.
Yeah, Henson struggling to find the zone with the fastball currently in this count, and it's going to be crucial to do so.
Miners looking to go back with a win to Palmer, as now 3 straight balls have gone high and inside to Chad Bible. Henson, after giving the intentional walk to Brian Leonhardt, has now fallen 3 balls and no strikes to Chad Bible with only 1 base open.
Henson just seems to be almost falling over before his arm can get through, hence the high pitch.
This one is a ground ball over towards the right side, and Caleb Van Blake will not be able to get it. Danny Wright in right field was unable to pick up the ball. The winning run scores, and the ball game is over. So the first run Spencer Henson has given up this season comes in walk-off fashion, as the Peninsula Oilers have defeated the Matsu Miners by a score of 6-5 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. A walk-off win at Coral Seymour Memorial Field for the Peninsula Oilers.
What a tough way to end what was really a good 3-game stretch there for the Miners, bouncing back after that opening loss, just going down in a real heartbreaking fashion right now. But you have to give it up to the Oilers. They had a chance in the bottom of the 9th, and they took advantage of it.
Well, the weather conditions did play a factor against the Miners, as a couple of unearned runs did score back in the earlier on in the game. But so for the Miners, they go now to 19-11 on the season. The Oilers 16-14. Miners still do hold a 3-game lead over the Oilers in the ABL standings, as they now go to 9-8 on the road. Once again, 19-11 on the season. Their 3-game winning streak has been snapped. The next game for the Matsu Miners will be tomorrow against the Pilots. Game time set for 7 o'clock. Your final, the Peninsula Oilers 6, the Matsu Miners 5. For Brad Walker, I'm Connor Mills. Signing off.